Hey guys, first Regardsman here, and so I'll be talking about the best Plasma Servo gun setup for the Techmarine class in Space Marine 2. Now, the Plasma Servo is the second best servo in the game currently. This one actually has the highest damage potential overall with the perk effect Omniscience Fury, because this one says servo gun shots at enemies on fire, and the Plasma Servo will shoot out exploding plasma projectiles that will just cause a bunch of AoE. So if you actually find an enormous enemy clump, you can put out a ton of value here. Unfortunately, the Plasma Servo's aim is kind of trash, and burn as an effect in Space Marine 2 as of like patch 14 is just less valuable than it used to be, because if you have a tactical on your team now, their Auspex scan will no longer affect burn damage at all, and because of that, this build is just less effective than it could have been otherwise. And also, you kind of have to give up some of these strongest perk effects like Lethal Perimeter here to actually make this a top tier option. So Plasma, definitely good, but Precision Enhancement and Lethal Perimeter, the utility here and the precision on where you actually want to shoot your shots is just incredible. And Lethal Perimeter, this will give you the free opportunity with no cooldown use to trigger perk effects like Counter Offensive Protocol and an Inexorable Salvo. So like that is just a ton of utility on its own. But that being said, we're gonna go through the best setup for this, and that starts off with the Heroic Heavy Bolt Rifle. This weapon here is very strong on Techmarine. Really, all you want from this is CHP recovery on the nades. The Techmarine is incredibly squishy, and if you do get knocked over, this class has a longer knockdown time than most classes in the game, and that means when your contested health is draining, you really want an instant refill option, and the grenade launcher portion will give that to you. As far as the perk tree setup is concerned, the best setup is Extended Magazine for more grenades and more magazine capacity into the perk here Magazine Restoration. Then we pick up a Cleaving Fire into the perk here Remote Threat, and then I grab the perk here Great Might, increase capacity again up here into Headhunter and Recoupment. Now, Recoupment is super valuable in the hard strats and ops for Techmarine. This one says killing a Majoris or higher enemy with a headshot. This weapon restores an armor segment. The cooldown is 15 seconds. This perk effect will give you so much free armor in this game. It's actually kind of This perk effect gives you so much free armor, and armor on Techmarine is incredibly valuable because he has a ton of range damage reduction. So stuff like Omniscient Axe Deflection and Scramble Targeting, this 45% range damage reduction, that will affect your armor as well. So that is basically what's going to keep you alive, because when you do run out of armor on Techmarine, that is when you actually die, because this guy is very susceptible to spontaneous combustion. And to help us further with that, we do also pick up Rapid Health here. When your health's below 30%, killing 7 enemies in rapid succession restores health by 10%. This is a very strong perk effect for the Techmarine as well, because when you are at low HP on this class, below 30%, you're in one-shot territory. Like, the Techmarine will genuinely explode if he's below like 20%, 25% HP, and keeping yourself above that is very important. So this perk generates a ton of value. Now, alternatively, you could go down here for Rampage, but Rampage is not like super useful on this build setup because most of your AoE damage is coming from your plasma gun anyways, and Rapid Health and Recoupment are just a bit better in the hard strats and ops. I would say Rampage is definitely better used on tactical. Next perk here, Special Penetration, over here into the perk Extended Magazine, and the final perk here is Remote Threat, though alternatively, if you want more grenade launcher damage, you could go up here for Divine Might instead, but it is up to you. Now, as far as the secondary weapon is concerned, we do take the Heroic Plasma. The Heroic Plasma gives you like all the burst damage you actually need on this build for the most part. Now, for the perk tree here, I do go for full AoE on top of single shot damage. So number 1, Plasma Collection over here into the perk Rapid Cooling. Then we pick up Plasma Collection again, Blast Radius, Perpetual Velocity down here into the perk Plasma Collection again. And then I pick up Blast Radius once again for a total of a 20% radius increase. And we move here into the perk Retaliation, and the final perk is Divine Might. Now, alternatively, you could pick up Charge Cooling for double shots on this thing, or you go all the way down the bottom tree for more damage, but going all the way down the bottom tree is really not that valuable here. You're not giving up a ton by just going up here, and also you're hitting more enemies potentially with Blast Radius because you are skipping over one radius perk to go down here for stuff like Great Might and one more Divine Might perk. But if you want to do that, you definitely can. Now, as far as the melee weapon is concerned, I do take the Argent Edge. This has been the best weapon on Techmarine ever since they buffed it up in the official release of patch 12 because they added in an extra heroic effect here for Scathing Retort. It says the riposte window is shorter, but each perfect parry damages and staggers the enemy. So basically, your parry window here is equivalent to a block weapon. It is an identical active window, but that really doesn't matter too much because you still have a 0 frame startup, which means the moment you hit your parry button, you will have an active parry frame. So like that's really all you need for the most part in this game. And also, this weapon will stagger for a gunstrike opportunity on the first parry no matter what, and that is incredible on its own. I mean, even if your perfect parries didn't damage enemies on this weapon, this would still be the top tier option because getting free defense like that is incredible in Space Marine 2 for like pretty much every class, and it also allows you to completely skip over perk effects like a next level salvo because you really don't need no knockback that much on Argent Edge because it is just such a powerful defensive tool, and because of that it opens up even more perk options. Now, for the perks around this, I just take the perk Perpetual Strength down here first into Kinetic Energy, then we pick up Perpetual Strength over into the perk Heavy Onslaught, then I pick up Reeling Blow up here into Tide of Battle, and then I pick up Shoulder Bash. This just replaces your lunging attack. I think the Shoulder Bash lunge attack is just way better. The animation feels like it has a far shorter recovery than Distance Stab, and I've kind of fallen in love with this one, and Shadow Stab is obviously just free damage, and the final perk here is a Terminus Slayer, though alternatively you could pick up Extremis Slayer if you want that. And that is pretty much all there is for the Argent Edge. Now for the main perk tree here, we obviously take Plasma Enhancement first because this is a Plasma Servo build, and when you take this option, you just take Omniscience Fury because otherwise the Plasma Servo gun straight up sucks. Next perk here is Omnisci and Axe Deflection. After a perfect parry or perfect block, you will take 25% less damage from range attacks for 10 seconds. So this is one of the nice things about the Argent Edge is that you can skip over things like Arc Cleave because you don't need the charged melee attack damage because the Argent Edge is mostly a parry stick, so a really nice option here. Next perk here is Long Range Barrage. Range damage at ranges greater than 20 meters increases by 25%. This will buff up your damage on both your Plasma Pistol and your Heavy Bolt Rifle, and since I took all the remote threat perks here, our damage at range is pretty exceptional. You can definitely notice the buffs on these, and it's a pretty nice synergy to have, so definitely grab this. Next perk here is, of course, Battlefield Repairs. Team members restore 1 additional armor segment for finishers, armadores, or extremis enemies. This is just the best team perk for the Techmarine on the operations and hard strats. It's really not even close. I mean, the perk up here, Reinforced Position, is pretty nice since they buffed it, but it's definitely better in Siege, and a Combat Squad Resupply. This one is nice, but for the most part, Replenishing Salvo does everything you need. Next perk here is a Designated Target. Enemies hit by the servo gun take 15% more damage for 10 seconds. Now, because we have our AoE on the Plasma Servo, triggering this is pretty easy on multiple enemies, and also Inexorable Salvo is just not that valuable on the Plasma version. I mean, you can still take this. It is good because no knockback is just very strong. Unfortunately, unlike Lethal Perimeter, you can't just put this out for free and get that 15 seconds lingering duration the entire match, which kind of lowers the overall value of this perk on this build. And also, the Plasma Servo uses a lot of energy per shot. It's like 10% or so, and because of that, 2 or 3 shots of your Plasma Enhancement, that's going to put your gun or your servo gun to cooldown for quite a while, and most of the time, if you're in like a massive horde, you're going to be shooting out a lot more than that. So the actual uptime of this perk is significantly less than the Lethal Perimeter would give you, because Lethal Perimeter lets you put it out for free all the time, and that's why I take this one. Though if you definitely want this option, it's still very strong. It's just a bit weaker here than like Precision and the Bolter version. Next perk here is Replenishing Salvo. Killing or incapacitating an enemy with the servo gun restores an equipment charge. Cooldown is 75 seconds. This perk is just the best perk in this column. The ability to just get back your equipment over and over is so strong in Space Marine 2. Pretty much every single equipment regen effect in this game is a top tier option because equipment just solves encounters all on its own. If you have 1 Melt-A-Bomb, 1 Crack, 1 Shock, that can fill in gaps in your build all on its own, so I would definitely grab this. Next perk here is a Fortifying Salvo. Killing or incapacitating an enemy with a servo gun, which was an armor segment. The cooldown is 30 seconds. This is just a no-brainer pick for the Plasma one. I mean, Strategic Gun Strike is just such a worthless option on the Plasma Servo because you're usually going to be like point blanking this thing anyways, and Counter-Offensive Protocol is just not very strong on the Argent Edge at all. The final perk here is, of course, Omnisci's Fury, because without this, your Plasma Servo gun just sucks ass. Now, the burn effect, even though it is overall less valuable this patch, is still very strong in Space Marine 2. Burn will slow enemies, it will apply a damage over time, and that's all pretty strong. Just make sure you're like having your plasma gun basically barrel stuff the enemy at times, because the plasma servo, its accuracy leaves a lot to be desired. In a lot of cases, the plasma servo will like catch on a single enemy in front of you, so make sure not to waste your shots, because that can definitely happen. That's pretty much all there is for the main Techmarine tree here. Now for the prestige perk options, the ones I would always take are chained headshots, unflinching focus, and defensive stance. So number 1, headshot damage increases by 3% per consecutive headshot up to a maximum of 15%. The bonus lasts 5 seconds of landing a headshot. So since we have a heavy bolt rifle, you pretty much always pick this up. The next one here, unflinching focus. You are invulnerable to damage while activating torrential sentry guns. You always take this, because otherwise there are moments where you'll just take damage for no reason on your sentry gun, and that can almost straight up kill you, even though you can't actually die in the animation for like activating them. But having this, it's just like a must-have in my opinion. Final one here is defensive stance. If you're surrounded by 5 or more enemies, you will take 20% less damage from ranged attacks. This will stack with the Omniscient Axe Deflection for a 45% range damage reduction, which actually makes you pretty tanky on the Techmarine for your armor, and armor already damage caps against melee attacks, so you kind of like catch the best of both worlds. Final perk here is up to you. Stim boost is a really strong perk to like up the overall stim economy of your game. This will help out the Techmarine especially, because it will take Techmarine out of one-shot territory from like a single stim, and that's pretty nice. And also you could take things like Furious Gunstrike, but Furious Gunstrike definitely less valuable on the Argent Edge, because even though your base damage here is pretty high, most of the time on this build you're just going to be range firing enemies, and the Argent Edge is going to be like a Gunstrike parry stick. If you want to pick that up, you definitely can, and I would pretty much always skip over Volatile Sentry, because this one just kind of sucks. And that is pretty much all there is for the Plasma Servo Gun setup. The only thing I think you could like really change around this, like maybe make it better for some setups, is like you could pick up No Knockback, you could pick up Synergistic Arsenal. These are definitely good options, because the 25% recharge here is actually pretty substantial, and there are a lot of sentry guns around your map. And if you don't want Omniscient Axe Deflection, you could also pick up stuff like Methodical Destruction. This is also a pretty good perk these days. And that is pretty much all I have to say in this one, guys. Hopefully this build guide helped you, and if you like content like this, subscribe for more. I also want to say a special thank you to my channel members. Your guys' support has helped me out tremendously over the past 2 years. And if you want to catch me live to ask me questions about the game, or just come hang out, you can find me here on YouTube or on Twitch with a link in the video description, and also a link to my community Discord. And as always, thank you for watching. Take it easy. Bye. Oh, hello. It's him. It's one of the guys. That's aura farming. My turn. Ow. Okay, you know what? Your aura farming is pretty good. Fuck that guy in particular, I guess. And we're gonna do what I call, let's hit them both and try to land on me. Yeah. I'll do this because I can. I have so much fucking HP. Yeah, the clones are harder than the boss, I'm telling you. There we go, finally. I did pop a restoratives in there. Can you blame a homie? I'm fighting Zinch's Chosen. this.
Defensive tactics successful. Our foes lie broken.
That little wall blocked me.
Gunstrike ready to deploy.
Oh, I watched about the new Sorcerer boss. Oh, him, yeah. That was annoying. I wish you got to complete that match because the game crashed.
Require additional resources. Xenos Alpha beast eradicated. Reloading. Inserting fresh magazines. This tarantula is still battle worthy.
Alright. This section here could be a bit of an ammo route.
Tyranid leader beast destroyed. Cyclic cartridges. Servo harness gun ready. No turning back. Understood. Refreshing armaments. Shot grenade out. Ultimate servo gun is fully operational. Large Tyranid organism destroyed. Enemy units call for backup. Replenishing ordnance. At the holdout. Searching for ordnance. The Munitorum does
Yo,
not
I have to
store
wonder, what's the
explosives.
next heroic heavy bolt rifle gonna be? Because I can't imagine it possibly getting better than this one. Like, what are they gonna do? Who would have thought that all it took to make the heavy bolt rifle an S tier weapon is just slap a grenade launcher on it?
Our foes call upon their reserve forces. Formidable Tyranid organisms eliminated. Throwing shock grenade. Silence the enemies before they request backup. Gunstrike ready to deploy. Tyranid leader beast destroyed.
Bang. Cheeky little... something.
Psychic organism purged.
Oh. That's awkward.
Xenos activity is increasing. Prepare to engage.
Hey, look at that. We did it.
Gunstrike primed and waiting. Xenos organic matter rots under our boot heels.
Our weapons zone 4. I was really curious about the Inferno pistol. Yeah, what the hell are they gonna do for an Inferno pistol? What will they do?
Bless this detonator. Inserting fresh magazines.
Happy streaming FTG. Thanks, brother.
Activating tarantula sentry gun. Servo gun engaged. Stealth-based Xenos revealed and removed. Explosive offering prepared. Rearming warhead. Servo gun is fully operational. Spore mines infect this area. Automated weaponry engaged. Replenishing ordnance. Tyranid link ready to advance.
Ow, ow, ow.
Munitions replenished.
Astartes! We were not expecting such illustrious company in the rear. We've got a handle on these probing strikes, my lords. It's the relay that's getting hammered right now.
Our target is a hive tyrant. Once we kill it, the relay will be secure. That's news.
Without armor support to tackle a target that big, we may have to bring down the supply bridge.
Our plan requires it.
Is this a withdrawal order?
Negative. The objective is the hive tyrant, not the bridge. Defend this position until the Tyranid command unit is executed.
Understood, my lord. May the Emperor guide our lasguns to your support.
Incoming!
Ready up, Eighth! Show the Emperor's angels what we are made of!
Shock grenade active. The hive tyrant is on its way.
What do you think, Chad? Think you guys can make it to the end of this map before our game crashes from the plasma burn?
Apply more pressure.
Risky business every time you shoot it. Where the fuck did that shot go? Maybe if we play 5 matches of it, we can like compile together effectively a full match of plasma gameplay through multiple crash runs.
By the numbers.
Purge of the week, dude. If we're purging the week, I'm dying first, so no thanks. I'm built like Steve Rogers for serum, okay?
Fresh ammunition acquired.
Is this Servo perk setup better than what you use for the Salamander sword now? Precision enhancement is better than Plasma. Plasma comes out to technically more damage, but the amount of times you actually get that full damage potential off is pretty low, and the utility of this thing is just not that high. Also, Plasma loves to just shoot the wrong enemy or like waste 4 shots on like one guy, and burst damage on Precision to just one shot Extremis or one burst them in a single servo is way better.
Waiting on you.
Also, lethal perimeter as like a perk effect is better, and burn got nerfed this patch where it's no longer remotely as potent. Well, I mean, the burn itself is, but it no longer scales up with the Auspex scan, which means you have a tactical on your team, your burn plasma is doing less too. FG, which is your favorite champion skin so far? Black Templar. Actually, maybe the Iron Hands one. This one's pretty good. I'm a Blood Angels fan, but I do not like... I don't like the Sanguinary Guard that much. I think they're pretty lame. I think their armor looks dumb. I think they should just get with the program with all the other guys in the chapter and just wear something, I don't know, a little less gaudy. Like after playing my game. Alright, so I turned on the Brazilian font earlier chat. I wasn't kidding. I actually can't do any of these guys. What do you even do? Can you blame me? We're 5 hours in. I need a little bit of, pump up music. Hear that zone throw though. The old-fashioned way, yeah. Okay, that entire encounter is kind of maybe just maybe wish I had a precision enhancement. You can pretty much you can burst down in neurotropes so quickly with that. Alright, we're turning down the Brazilian funk. It's both increasing our performance and getting us murdered, but all in all, W.
Gun strike ready to deploy.
SUG, which bands do you actually listen to? None.
Command, target is alive and retreating. Pursue and eliminate. We will not have a better opportunity
I
to
exclusively
finish it off.
listen to litanies while they lower me down into my dreadnought.
Large Terminator organism destroyed. Servo gun strike in progress. Replenishing ordnance. Monstrous xenos eradicated. If that thing can still move like that, I doubt we can end it off.
What the fuck? Whatever. If not take damage from my nades there. When biovores were planted, by the way, they'll take double damage from body shots.
Understood.
So shoot them with the turret with a heavy bolt rifle and do pretty well.
Servo gun is fully operational. Formidable Tyranid organism terminated. Still watching off life and it's a climb. Better hurry.
Right, well, we made it to the boss without crashing. I consider that a W.
Refreshing armaments.
Oops. That's all we want. I don't know how the other one's different, but it might be.
Ready
You
to
never know.
advance. Servo harness gun available.
That's for ordered. That'd be nice. That was a really troll minors ones they did at me there. And then the plasma shot those guys, but kind of hard to do that when a minors forces you to grab them. Back.
Gunstrike ready to the roll. The master of ma-
Why'd they do me like that? Alright, so that's the best plasma setup in my opinion. The only thing I'd ever change on that would be an extrable salvo, probably.